everybody, Holly Priestley here, Queen Bee of Honeycomb Coaching, and driver, owner, liver inner of Eloise Van Gogh, mom of Mona Lisa Priestley. And I wanted to do a little video that just kind of explains some of the basic stuff that I accomplished with the van. So I'm thinking things like water and restrooms and other frequently asked questions that I get. Come along. Lisa is monitoring as usual. So for water, I do have a sink here, and it does have a water pump and a 25-gallon tank underneath the vehicle. I can't use it right now for two reasons. The water pump that is underneath in this cabinet down here is broken, and then the hose that puts water, you know, from whatever outside source into the tank has a gaping hole in it. So instead I have this 7-gallon cube with a spout, and then two little 1 gallons that I put the water into to make it a little bit more usable when I'm still using the sink for dishes or toothbrushing or whatever. Yeah, I use the 1 gallons for most of my, cooking and cleaning and teeth brushing. And then I fill up the 7-gallon any chance I get, at a grocery store, some gas stations, truck stops, friends' houses, hoses, dog parks, wherever I can find water. Okay, this next bit is not a frequently asked question, but it was a question that I had when I was looking at designs and ideas to build out my van. Was jewelry storage. So I don't care about makeup. I don't own any makeup. I don't need makeup storage or anything like that, but I do like jewelry, and I have some, and I have had two different ways of storing it, and the one that I have now I like the most. So I'm going to share what I did before, and then also what it looks like now. So before, what happened was that I basically shoved it in the one and only drawer that I have. In some bowls to keep it kind of organized, but this drawer also has my silverware and other crap in it, and it didn't really make a lot of sense, and I had to pull out the jewelry bowls in order to get to my knives and stuff. It wasn't the most efficient way, and I couldn't see everything I had. My necklaces were getting really tangled up, so I took everything out, reorganized the whole drawer, and put my jewelry on my seat back organizer, and now it looks like this. So this is where my jewelry storage is now. My necklaces are all hanging, and headbands and stuff. I've got tiny carabiners on each side, that are holding my necklaces, and they haven't gotten too tangled up yet while driving. The earrings were kind of interesting. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, but this mesh fabric is actually perfect for them. I just kind of weave the hooks through the mesh fabric. This little box here has any studs that I have, and then you can see my bracelets are behind there, and my rings I pretty much wear every day unless I'm being active, like climbing or hiking or anything like that. Then I'll put them back in here in these little pockets as well. So again, like I said, not a frequently asked question, but one that I had when I was doing my build out. I also frequently get asked about showering and keeping my body clean, and when I'm in Denver, I have access to a gym, and there are a lot of ways to stay clean on the road as well. I learned that truck stops have showers. They're generally pretty expensive, between $8 and $12 a shower, so it's not super ideal, to take one every other day if they cost $10 a day, but they're there for you, and it's, hot running water, and some truck stops have time limits and some don't, different amenities. It just varies by the truck stop. What I usually do is a mixture of baby wipes and apple cider vinegar. So I bought baby wipes in bulk. I know they're not the most eco-friendly option, but they're what I have right now, and they seem to be working. So I use them a lot for my body, my armpits, like everything. I've noticed that they don't necessarily take the smell away after I've been sweating. So I have a little tub of apple cider vinegar and a smidge of water that I will rub on my underarms, and that will get a lot of the sweat smell to go away. It's also a really good like face toner that I use. I might use a baby wipe on my face. I don't always, just because I don't like the way they make my face feel, but I love the way that my face feels after the apple cider vinegar. I pretty much think apple cider vinegar is a wonder drug, and it's good for everything. Another really common question I get is about the bathroom. So if you're not interested in learning how I, a woman, goes to the bathroom in my van without having to use a public restroom if one isn't available, or if it's too cold, or the middle of the night, or whatever, then skip ahead. I'll put a timestamp here of whenever the next topic comes up, because I know that that's not something that everybody wants to know about. So, TMI coming your way. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so to pee. Peeing is really easy. I don't have a problem with it at all, and I kind of never have. I don't know, part of it is probably just because I grew up like hiking and camping and stuff a lot, so I don't mind like just popping a squat. But in the van, you can't really do that. So I have a bottle. Conveniently, inconveniently, it's an old lemonade bottle. But it's not lemonade, so don't drink it if you ever see a lemonade bottle on the floor in my van. And as most women, I can't really aim, so I have a female urination device that helps me aim so that all of the liquid gets into the bottle. It comes in this little black bag. Here, let me put this down so I can show you mo better. Okay. So it comes in this little discreet black drawstring bag, and it fits pretty much anywhere. It's like rubbery material, so it can squish or fit anywhere it needs to. And then in the black bag is the device, and it also comes with another plastic bag. I've decided to keep this just because I think it gives it another level of cleanliness. So the device looks like this, and I'm sure you can imagine how it works. This part goes up against your body, front to back, and then this part helps it all go into the bottle. And I use, wet wipes and toilet paper to clean myself and the device every single time. Of course, I want it to be clean and healthy, and you just got to keep things clean if you want to be clean and healthy. So that's peeing. Peeing is easy. Not peeing. Pooping. Dealing with solids. Not ideal. I don't like doing it, to be honest with you, in the van, but when I was in Arizona, the ground there was what they call desert concrete. You can't really dig into it to like dig a hole, squat over the hole, fill up the hole, as you would do in most land. So it's kind of a pack it in, pack it out system, even with your waste. So I got a bucket. So this is what I use for my other restroom needs. It is a 5-gallon bucket, and this bag is specifically for waste, and the one that I got is biodegradable, so I could use it in the van and then bury it somewhere else if I wanted to. And then the seat is just called a luggable loo. I think these are elephant something. These bags are Green Elephant brand, so I'll link to those in the description as well, and the luggable loo, and then it's just a 5-gallon bucket anywhere you can find it. My process for this is not perfect and has been just kind of made up as I've experimented with it and I'm learning to use it. So you have the bag, everything's open, you're ready to go. You lift up the lid, you sit, you do your thing, and then I take the whole lid off because this is clipped underneath the lid, and then I twist it. I twist the bag to kind of keep smells and things contained. And then I clip the lid back on over like the top of the bag on like one side of the bucket, just to keep it from smelling up my van, basically. And then the next time I have to use it, I take the plastic lid off, I untwist the bag, wrap it around the whole outside, put the lid back on, and then just do the same process. And these bags, because they're biodegradable, they do break down within like 2 or 3 days. So that's something to keep in mind. You do need to change them out. Not that you wouldn't want to do that on a regular basis anyway. So that's bathroom stuff. And now we're going to get back to stuff that's maybe a little more enjoyable for people to hear about. One thing I forgot to mention was that after I use the bucket toilet and clean up and everything, I put some crumbled up quar, I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, but I put this over it, and it acts kind of like an absorbent, like kitty litter or something, and it does help it break down after the fact, according to my research beforehand. Another frequently asked question I get that I was just reminded about on Instagram was about my miles per gallon and miles per hour on the rig. So every vehicle is different. In general, the bigger and heavier your vehicle is, the worse the gas mileage is going to be. My van is gas, not diesel, if that is interesting to you guys. And I do calculate my mileage every time I fill up, so I like to keep track. I like to keep track of how many miles I'm getting per gallon, and over the past 6 months I've been able to kind of figure out my averages in the city versus on the highway versus in the mountains, etc., etc. And on average in the city I get about 11 or 12 miles to the gallon, which is not great. And on the highway I get between like 14, 15. The most I've ever gotten is about 16, and that was amazing. So, you know, not super great, but at the same time, I get to carry my whole house around with me anytime I go anywhere. So, it's kind of a good trade-off. And then, miles per hour, I generally don't like driving this thing super fast. Not that it can go super fast anyway, and it doesn't have very good pickup. It's an automatic, and before this, I had been driving manuals for a very long time. So, I'm still kind of getting used to the fact that it seems to have a little bit more of a mind of its own. But at the same time, it did make it a lot easier, especially at the beginning, because I didn't have to worry as much about, like, rolling a giant bus backwards on a big hill into somebody else. Anyway, I haven't taken it faster than, like, 80 to 85 on certain stretches of highway in Utah, where that's allowed. I don't like driving it that fast. It feels like it gets kind of like speed wobble or something. Like, I just don't like it. It feels too much for me, like too big of a vehicle moving too fast. So I usually just stay over in the right-hand lane and kind of let people go around me, because I am also trying to deliberately like slow down and not go so fast. So MPG, MPH. Alright, we have an extra dog in here now. This is Jay. He belongs to my folks. He is the happiest dog you've ever met. Also, maybe the dumbest. But that is our frequently asked questions video for today. If you guys have any additional questions that you'd like me to answer, don't hesitate to ask them. I am an open book and happy to share my experiences. Hope you guys are all having a great day.